on board as well, probably very similar to the Ferrari, so Michael again will not be best pleased with that one.
That is exactly what Michael Schumacher did not want. He wants a nice clean run into turn one in the race tomorrow. Now Coulthard, can he press open the advantage as well? Can he get himself in front of Michael Schumacher? Let's not forget, at the start in Sepang 2 weeks ago, it was for fear of this man getting past him that Schumacher had that problem, caused that mistake into turn one with Jarno Trulli. It's very, very interesting, the pressure that's coming on now, particularly from Coulthard. First sector, look at that, a tenth, nearly 2/10 up on Jarno Trulli, and he's on Michelin tyres, so the middle sector, Coulthard's got to believe is going to be strong.
Yeah, he'll be very happy with that, DC. He's been about half a tenth shy down to the first sector the whole of free practice, and he knew he had to find something in there. Now, if he can hook the middle sector up, he is definitely looking very, very good to get it on the front of the grid. We've got a way to go yet before we find that out. We've got to get through this corner, the Duck's Beak, and down the hill through Megullo. Traction control there, holding the car back, trying to reconnect the rear tyres with the tarmac, and through he goes now, and he's pretty quick, but not quick enough. He's a quarter of a second down, so Jarno Trulli was absolutely mighty in that middle sector. We saw in Malaysia just how good the Renault was under braking, and he's made it count. But can Coulthard get it on the front row of the grid ahead of Ralph and ahead of Michael? Indeed, he's gone fastest.
Wow, what a lap! Ron Dennis, the team boss of McLaren, is ecstatic about that, you can tell. The crowd beneath us are applauding, everyone's jumping up and down. There's a samba rhythm in the stands here. Everyone's enjoying this. That was a super lap from David Coulthard. The Mercedes power plant pushing him up the hill. Here's Kimi Raikkonen, so obviously the McLaren team have sorted out the hydraulic problems. Now, last season, Raikkonen around about 2/10 of a second faster most of the time than Coulthard in qualifying, but Coulthard has qualified ahead of this kid the last 4 Grand Prix, so the pendulum has swung towards DC as we look back at Kimi Raikkonen, who's just 300 slower than his teammate, sector 1.
As you can see how hard he was working on the steering wheel over the bumpy curbs of turn 4. Back now from the long shot as he goes through the Ferradura, and Raikkonen then was quickest in the free practice, the 15-minute warm-up just before this session, bouncing around, and bounced off the curb, unloaded the tyre, car slid sideways, that cost him a tenth. Can he make it up in these last 2 or 3 corners? And we saw really just how much faster the McLaren it was up the long hill to the start-finish line. Clearly Renault down a bit on power, we do know, and also probably carrying a bit more wing is why they're so fast in the middle sector. Raikkonen then's got to find a tenth of a second if he wants to out-qualify his teammate for the first time this year. It's going to be very, very close. He's coming to the line now. Kimi Raikkonen goes second.
4/100ths of a second, the gap. Ron Dennis is pleased at the moment. He's got a 1-2, very much as they are in the World Championship at the moment on points. It's been a strong start to this season for the McLaren team. So Rubens Barrichello, really the only man now who can spoil the party for the McLaren team. He's winding up this Ferrari. This is a track that's pretty much cursed for Rubens, his home circuit. He's failed to finish on the last 8 Grand Prix here. He desperately needs to do something. His teammate, Michael Schumacher, currently 5th on row 3 of the grid. Can Rubens Barrichello get higher up the grid?
Bouncing around on the curb too. That car looks very stiff, doesn't it? All the way round. Stiffer than the sister car of Michael. And looking across the cockpit then, all seems very calm in there, doesn't it? Just a tweak, put some torque into that steering wheel, get the car into the corner. You can see the green lights flashing to say it's about to change gear, and that's just to let Rubens know because it's done automatically. Look, no correction needed at all. But how does it go into this one? This is where Michael started picking up the understeer. Less understeer then for Rubens Barrichello than Michael Schumacher in the same car. And as long as he doesn't lock the wheel into there, and he does not do so. So it's looking good, I would say, for Barrichello to probably out-qualify Michael Schumacher here. Second timing beam coming up. Where is he? He's a fraction faster than Coulthard, and definitely looking game on to beat Michael. And can he beat the lot of them?
Well, his middle sector was comparable to Michael Schumacher's. He's going to drive for the line now. Rubens Barrichello, the Brazilians are on their feet. Has he taken pole position? Yes! Pole! And oh, what a lap from Rubens Barrichello. He really hooked up this Ferrari, and the place is going nuts.
Yes, a full 3/10 quicker than Michael. Michael slips back to 6th place now. Barrichello on pole then. So I'd be surprised if Webber can get in there and spoil that party, certainly on the front row of the grid. So it looks like the old Formula 3 sparring partners, Barrichello and Coulthard on the front row, but let's give Webber a chance.
Well, he's going to have to worry here because Rubens is going around taking the plaudits from the crowd, waving to them, and Mark Webber's going to encounter him shortly. Rubens needs to pick his pace up. Everyone's shouting Rubinho, Rubinho from the grandstands. He is on row 1. Coulthard is going to be alongside him. Mark Webber, though, look at this. Is he showboating? Has he decided to take the fuel out and go for glory? He was fastest yesterday in the wet session, and that gave him an unusual position really for a Jaguar driver, of having topped the qualifying timesheets. No one really expected him to do it again this afternoon. First sector has been pretty good. How's his middle sector?
He's a great kid. I'd love to see him on the front row of the grid, it has to be said. It's a very, very long middle sector, so we won't find out until he gets to the bottom of the hill. Let's listen to it. He manually shifted it through there, did a little bit of a short shift to get it up to the gear before the hardest corner. He's a quarter of a second ahead.
Oh, this is extraordinary. Now it's all about power. It's all about Cosworth, and they aren't short of power. Nothing wrong with the engine in the back of this car. And can the Jaguar snatch a pole position? He's clearly running light on fuel, but what a story this will be. The Brazilians hold their breath. No! Oh well, never mind, never mind. He's still on row 2, and get this, Michael Schumacher is on row 4 of the grid. Rubens Barrichello has taken the pole. Jean Todt knows how much fuel is in both of his two drivers' cars. I wonder, how much fuel is Michael carrying? And listen.
That's what they came to see. They wanted Barrichello on the front of the grid, and he's on pole, and he's still cruising back to the pits, taking the glory. And he's always been so fast here, hasn't he? But so unlucky around this racetrack.
Oh wow, well what a story that was. We nearly had another sting in the tail with Mark Webber, but Rubens Barrichello takes pole position, and even Michael Schumacher manages a smile. It's the 7th pole of Rubens' Formula 1 career. The Ferrari flags are flying here in Interlagos. Coulthard alongside him on row 1, and he'll be pleased with that, Martin. That's a good performance. Webber 3rd, Raikkonen 4th from McLaren, who again are looking very strong for the race tomorrow. Then it's Trulli 5th, Ralf Schumacher and Michael Schumacher 6th and 7th. 8th, Giancarlo Fisichella. 9th, Juan Montoya, he's a threat tomorrow as well. And 10th, Alonso. But today the story really is all about this man.
Yes, I think Williams will be very, very disappointed with 6th and 9th. Alonso, we saw him really not hook it up. He's down there in 10th, the last race pole sitter. Jenson Button, I thought, did a good job. He's 11th on a 1:14.5, a 10th ahead of his teammate in 2 places. Villeneuve is 13th. They've got Heidfeld between them, and it goes Frentzen, Panis. Furman, I thought, also did a good job. Pizzonia, he's going to be feeling a bit sick seeing his teammate up there in 3rd on the grid, but surely carrying some more fuel. But again, Webber, I think, has done a stellar job up the front. De Matter, bad lap from him. Verstappen and Wilson, the 2 Minardis, on the back of the grid.
Just look, though, at the Michelin spread at the top of the timesheets here. As we said, clearly that tyre was working very, very well in the middle sectors. I had a hunch going into this session that Ferrari might put the drivers on 2 different strategies. I wonder if that's what's happened. Look at the margin, 0.3 of a second between Barrichello and Michael Schumacher. We didn't really see Michael make any mistakes, did we? Just the car looked like it was understeering a bit.
Yeah, he just picked up understeer in the middle part. It looks like Rubens got quite a different setup if you watch the car moving around, and he just had it hooked up in the middle.
So, a Brazilian has won this race in 1973, 1983 and 1993. It's a 10-year sequence. Can Rubens finish it off tomorrow? Tune in and find out.
Rubens, great lap, great scenes there, as you did your slowdown lap as well.
Well, it feels fantastic. I mean, it's something that even though I haven't done anything yet, because it's all it counts is only tomorrow, I think it's great for what I've been doing here in Brazil. I mean, everybody knows that I've always seemed to have a tough time here, so it's nice to put the car on pole, and it's really nice to see the public coming, and they were all standing up, I was looking at my mirror to not get in front of Mark, but I was really looking at the public as well, because it was a fantastic feeling. But you know, what it counts is tomorrow, so I'm only in a very good position for tomorrow's race.
It's probably the tidiest of the first 3 Grand Prix so far. I had a little bit of a difficult warm-up session, so we changed the car back to as we'd run it in the morning practice session, and was pleasantly surprised to feel that the car had come back to that sort of configuration. So you never quite feel as fulfilled as you would with the old qualifying session, because you're finding out where the track is and the car is in that single lap. But nonetheless, obviously not a bad lap, and it'll be interesting to see who's got what fuel on tomorrow.
I think everyone is on similar fuel loads on a Friday. We, you know, the 2 guys next to me might have a little bit more fuel than me for tomorrow's race, but we are still very, very competitive here, I believe. We've been reasonably quick in all the sessions we've sort of done, and the homework we've done. We've prepped our tyres, and it's going to be a long race for us, but you know, we've just had a really good weekend, and it's good, because Malaysia was a very hard race for us. We had a lot of mysteries and a lot of snags, problems coming at us that we didn't really have in testing, which was hard on the boys and hard on the factory. And this is, you know, on top of what happened yesterday, just a nice little reward. And you know, we know in ourselves that we have made clear progress, and you know, it's a good day for us.
As I said before the weekend, I've turned into a person who, the Formula One turned me into a person who doesn't believe much in things from the past. I mean, you got to believe on the real things. I have a competitive car. I think I choose the right strategy for tomorrow, but we're only gonna know tomorrow. But I am confident. I am very confident that we can do a good job tomorrow, and it will win the race, the best guy out there. But I hope I'm going to be there fighting.
Because of the intensity and the passion of the crowd here in Brazil, is that actually a hindrance at your home Grand Prix, or does it move you forward?
Used to be. For me, it was kind of a tough